been, all over the country, and I've seen hockey in a lot of places. And, I think the one thing that resonates with me is that how special it is here. And, I try to remind our players that there's a lot of places that don't have the ice time that we do, and don't have the facilities that we do, and the support that we do. And, I try to remind them that so they don't take it for granted. And, I think a lot of times you don't realize what you have here until you leave Warroad and you see hockey in other places and realize just how good you have it here.
I really was in a lot of neat areas, but, growing up in a small rural city, you really can't, you don't always get the Targets or the Walmarts, but you definitely get a lot of the other positives. There's a lot of passion, and everybody loves, Roseau hockey that lives here. It's kind of multi-generational now, where you've got grandpas and then fathers and then sons. And the big thing is, a lot of our kids, they start skating pretty much 4 or 5 years old.
That's one of the things where, you're a little kid, you want to score the game-winning goal against Roseau, because everybody's going to see it, everybody's going to know about it. And but besides the state tournament, this is one of the biggest games of the year for us.
Like most people around Roseau, we kind of judge how the Rams season goes on how they do against Warroad, so.
These kids, they play against each other from as soon as they start playing all the way through high school, so they know each other well. They probably play each other 4 or 5 times a year at least, and so there's that familiarity with each other, and it creates that rivalry, because Roseau's very similar. They have a lot of history and a lot of pride in their program, and we both want to do well, we both want to win, and I think it brings out the best in both of us. When I grew up, it was you hated Roseau, you wanted to win.
You definitely get a pretty heated exchange, and you know which guys you got to watch and which guys you got to play tough against. And it's not always the easiest thing for the poor refs to have to deal with, but they get paid, so they got to do it.
And then as you get older, you start to, I know a lot of people from Roseau, so they're not bad people, and I know that I've known all the coaches that I've coached against there, and they're going through the same things that I am, and the struggles, and they want to win, and they want to do the best job they can. So I think that the rivalry and the I don't know if it's hatred, but it's a respectful rivalry where we both understand that we want to win, and that's the most important thing to us. And it's just it's the way it's always been, and I don't think it's ever going to change. No matter the record of the teams during the year, it seems like it's always a heck of a game.
You definitely enjoy it more from the ice, but it gets close when you're watching your kids play. But even at my age now, getting close to 50, I'd still love to be out there playing a game against Warroad. We did get a chance to go up and play in the Hockey Day Minnesota, and Roseau put together an old timers team, and so did Warroad. And I'm happy to say we gave Warroad a little bit of a this wasn't a beatdown, but we got the win anyways, so that was kind of neat.
When I played, we did well against Roseau. I think we beat them in a couple section championships to go to the state tournament, and I think we maybe only lost to them once when I was in high school. So those were, anytime you win, it's a good memory.
My junior year, we had really good teams in both Roseau and Warroad, and I still remember we played Warroad here, and they got us with a goal late and beat us 4-3, but then we got them up in Warroad, and I scored the only goal for a 1-0 win, and both rinks were just packed. It's really been a competitive advantage for both our communities to be able to have good competition that's only 20 miles away. But you're exactly right. Once the game goes on, it gets pretty intense and pretty tough, and you don't want to get beat by Warroad, and I know Warroad doesn't want to get beat by Roseau.
It showcases our town, and it showcases Roseau, and everyone pays attention to it. And anytime you can bring that attention to your program, it's good, and I think it's good for both of us, and showcase our players and everything that we try to do.
Yeah, I know for many years in our accounting office, anytime we played Roseau Warroad, we put on our Roseau sweatshirts and our Roseau gear for the day at work, and I think everybody does a little bit of that. But Well, yeah, it's talked about at coffee. Well, how do you think the big game will go?
Days like today, I'll get a few more, text messages than I usually would, or, just an email from somebody that maybe isn't here that's going to be watching online or stuff like that. It's just, when the Roseau World game rolls around, people pay attention no matter if they're here or somewhere else in the country. The game is on a lot of people's bucket list, hockey fans, and I've had people from California and all over the country, email me saying we're going to be there for the Roseau World game, and they're worried about getting tickets or pre-buying tickets, and fortunately most of the time you can still get in the door.
We're probably making 3 times the food I am prepping for, and hopefully have enough heated so we don't heat along the way. We're just ready to move it up front. That's from the back of the house to the front of the house, and that's kind of what the goal is. And everyone will have their place to be. We'll have 3 on the till, 3 runners. We'll have people serving, and it'll all come together, and it'll be great.
I don't have to tell them. I think they know. They know that it's not just another game. It is, but it's Roseau Warroad, and it means more to both teams. It means more to both towns, the fans, everybody involved, and the kids, they understand that. They've been playing Roseau their whole lives, and they know what it means, and so you don't have to say much just because it's a great atmosphere. I always tell the kids, if you can't get excited to play in a game like this, you're never going to be excited. So I enjoy it. I hope the kids enjoy it, and hopefully we can play well.
Recently, we've kind of started that Max Foundation game, which has been a really neat thing to get going. And a kid that had a suicide, and when the family from Warroad wanted to do something to just kind of get recognition and get people aware of mental health and things like that. And I thought, what a better way to tie it to Roseau hockey. And it's been a really neat thing that they've got going. It's just something to kind of keep kids, thinking about that. And the kids kind of look forward to every game. But it's still something neat to kind of add to this great rivalry that Roseau and Warroad have.
It almost feels like a playoff game every time you play each other, and that certainly helps as you prepare for the end of the season and into playoffs. And you put kids in situations where they're playing in front of a bunch of fans, and the crowd's going nuts, and it's intense. And I think it's good for everyone. I think it's good for us to be a part of that, because hopefully you go long enough in the playoffs, it's going to be very similar. Playing in a section championship or in a state tournament. So anytime you can get a little feel of that before it really happens, I think it certainly helps. There's a ton of players throughout the years, both on both sides. Guys that have went on to play in college, and guys that went on to play in the Olympics and the NHL. And I'm sure if you asked, TJ Oshie or Brock Nelson, they would remember playing against Roseau in high school. So, and obviously they've gone on to do, tremendous things at the next level. And but you don't forget stuff like that. And I was the same way when I was in high school. The Roseau World game was the biggest game that I ever played in, and then you go on and you play in other big games, but you certainly don't forget about it.
Would you cheer for Warroad if they made a run at the state single A?
That's kind of a tough question to put me right on the spot, but
do you root for Roseau to win the double A if they're in there, the 2A, just so you can say you
the
champs?
It would depend on how the season goes during the year.
We cheer for each other when we're not playing each other, just because how close our communities are. And I got many friends that are from Warroad, and many tax clients, and it's you still gotta be able to live together even after the hockey losses and wins.
They want us to win because then it makes them look good, and vice versa. So when I played, we were in the same class, so we probably weren't rooting for each other. And but being in different classes now, it doesn't matter as much, because at the end of the year we're both kind of playing for something a little bit different. But if they go to the AA tournament, I hope they do well. We can pick on each other, but nobody else can pick on us.